Hey everybody, I am here in a Starbucks with my decaf Americano, which is the way I roll. Let's talk about therapy topics. You got a question? Ask it in the chat section or in the reply section. All right, and I might just answer. Okay, and I've got my topics to bring up from my handy legal pad here. Here's the first thing I want to say. You know what? One of the big advantages of doing telehealth, like doing therapy by video, which is exclusively what I do. I do all of my therapy by video, all right, is I can be super sweaty and I've just gotten back from the gym, which is true, okay? I got this tank top on and nobody can smell me. Seriously. You can have just gone to the gym and then you come home and do your therapy session and you can be all smelly and sweaty. I won't smell it and you won't smell me. All right, that's just my little that's my little plug, because right now I am kind of sweaty and icky, but I just wanted to do this live stream. Look, I'm still practicing being brave enough to be bad at something new. All right. And I wanted to do a live stream. I've actually been busy. I've been seeing clients for the last 3 days, like up and down all day, morning and afternoon, and one evening on Wednesday evenings. I haven't had time to make any videos. I think I made a short 2 days ago or 3 days ago about I've never met a strong person with an easy past. That really, I got a lot of positive comments about that. That was so cool. But since then, I haven't had any time to do more videos. So here we go. Okay. So, by the way, I'm going to put little chapter headings, okay, and timestamps. All right. So you can kind of just, go to your favorite section. So by the way, okay, so let's talk about, actually, I want to talk about the gym. So I do lift weights. I'm not very muscular. All right. That's actually another thing where it's like I'm not that great at it. All right. So I definitely want to encourage you with that. Like, go do that thing that's new. You've always wanted to try, and lift weights. It's really good for your mental health and all that. But I will say I have my rotator cuff is a little bit angry at me, and it hurts in my bicep. And I was actually just thinking about it. I mean, this comes up a bunch in therapy with some of my clients. If you're in physical pain, if you have either chronic pain or, something's gone out. I'm a middle-aged 54-year-old guy. Okay, my lower back sometimes goes out. But if you're in pain, that will affect your mental health. No question about it. And I always want to take that into account. Is like, are you in pain? Because if you're in pain, that's going to affect your personality. It's going to affect your mood. It'll definitely affect your mental health and your ability to emotionally regulate sometimes. You're going to be more grouchy. You know the term grouchy old man? I can absolutely relate to that. So send good vibes and all that for my right arm. I've been doing everything with my left hand and arm and trying to isolate, and hopefully it's slowly getting better, but I'm still nervous about it. So, but anyway, my heart goes out to you. If you deal with chronic pain, that's a factor in your life. It's absolutely a factor in your life. So, and then like just your health overall, you know what I mean? Plays a huge role. Fitness issues or mobility issues, whatever it is, it's a factor. So that's all. And I'm always, like, as a therapist, I'm always looking for like ways to kind of understand the real you and how you tick, and trying to give empathy, trying to find those areas where it's like, ooh, that probably hurts. Ooh, that might be a little painful, and then it affects your mood and your emotional wellness and all that. Especially if you have a big master plan of healing from trauma and abuse. It's like, how's your health? All Are you in pain? All right. So there you go. Little lecture on that. All 2 people watching. Thank you. By the way, Midnight Cactus is just my nickname. I don't even know why. I'm into cactuses. Kiss Cactus is my personal page. Just if you put Kiss Cactus, that's me. There's actually a video of me kissing a cactus. So, by the way, so I have been busy with my work, but then it's really interesting. I offer hours on Saturday mornings and Sunday evenings, usually 4 slots. Right now, not many clients are taking advantage of them. I just want to say, Sunday nights, what are you doing on Sunday night? What if you talk to a therapist? You're finishing up the weekend, go see a therapist. Anyway, and by the way, it's not football season either. I'm a big NFL football fan, so I actually understand. But anyway, I do have openings on Sunday evening for sure, and even a couple on Saturday mornings. So that's all. But I'm just saying, all right, everyone's seeing me during the week, and that's fine. Okay, I'm busy. I'm working. I love my job. But I've had some openings on Sunday evenings. I need to put it out there to the universe. It's like if you're looking for a therapist and Sunday night kind of works, you got a busy Monday through Friday kind of job. What about Sunday evening? We'll do it by telehealth. You can sit in your comfy couch in your living room, bring your dog or your cat, you know what I mean? I'm pet friendly. And as long as you're not distracted, that's always my big rule. Free of distractions, and you can talk freely. Sunday nights, and it's not football season right now. So there you go. I'm putting it out there to the universe. There you go. Whoa, there's one person watching. There's been no comments yet. By the way, I have 3 shorts I hope to do in the next 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm really loving the shorts where I just know shorts, they got to be short and punchy. Short, kind of punchy, have a little impact, gives you a little bit of a emotional hit, whatever it is. My goal is to inspire people that are already growth-minded, therapy-minded, and you might already be seeing a therapist. It's like, I just want to give you that extra little infusion. One's going to be about the word can't. I want a red flag to go up in your head, this alarm. Anytime you use the word can't in the context of, oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. I just can't do this. I can't grow here. I want an alarm to go off in your head saying, wait a minute. Why am I using the word can't? Maybe I shouldn't be using that word. Is it true that I really can't do something? Could you learn? I mean, if you can learn it, then it's not a matter of can't. It's a matter of you need to learn. You need to take steps to learn. You know what I mean? Or is it usually it's 50% you won't, 50% you can't? I'm not dismissing. I understand what it's like where it feels like you can't do something. I'm the king of actually learned helplessness in my personal life. I got stories. But really, how much of it is a won't? I won't do that. Or I refuse to do something versus I can't. So anyway, that's going to be one of my little shorts. I got a couple others. I'm actually not, I don't even want to bring them up. But there you go. So let me sip some of my decaf Americano. It's a pretty embarrassing. It's a boring drink. I quit caffeine over a year ago. And but I still like coffee shops, getting a coffee. And it's interesting, they put my name somewhere on here. It's my name, Enjoy. That's not my name. But she just shouted, the barista shouted, a decaf Americano for Steve. And I was like, oh, you got to announce my boring drink to the world here. There's like a bunch of people around. So there you go. The glare is a little funny, but hopefully you can see me. Hello to all 2 people watching. Please comment. Please subscribe. I'm just a therapist here in Colorado. I'm an LPC. I've been an LPC for since 2005. So that's how long. All right. I've been a therapist for over 20 years. Blood, sweat, and tears. I've been through it all. Hard jobs. All sorts of jobs. My first 10 years, it's like I worked here for a year and then I quit. Worked here for 1 year, then I quit. Worked here for 6 months. Didn't work out. Biked across America. Spent 18 months doing this job in mental health. Worked here for two months, quit. I'm just riddled. And then once I really got serious about private practice in 2018, I've been doing telehealth. It was a lot of hard work, attracting clients and all that. But my website is Wandering Elk Wellness. Just a very humble website, but Wandering Elk Wellness. I got my rates on there, my insurance, my photo, and kind of a bio about what I do and what I stand for. And so there you go. Sip more coffee. Therapy topics. Be careful about the word can't. Here's another one. Be careful about the word how. I don't know how. It's in the can't family. I don't know how to do it. Usually we do know how to do something when it comes to growth or healing, taking on a new behavior. We know how. We might need assistance, encouragement. We know how to take risks. You know what I mean? But sometimes our intellect, what I tell my clients is sometimes my clients they're a little more intellectual, okay? And their intellect protects them from feeling feelings, kind of dealing with emotional stuff, matters of the heart. So they stay in the head. And then they're like, oh, that's a great idea, but I don't know how. And then they sort of, I joke and I say, they just how me. No matter what I say, they just say, but how? I don't know how. You're not telling me how to do it. It's like, what do you mean? Adopt a new behavior. Adopt a new mindset. Reframe something and say, okay, I always have this kind of attitude, okay? But now I'm going to have that attitude. I'm really going to start focusing on and meditating on and thinking about having this attitude about this part of my life. There's no how. You try a new behavior, Anyway, the hows. Be careful about constantly saying, I don't know how. A little alarm bell should be going off. These are my humble therapy tips. I think I put therapy tips as a, what do you call it? A hashtag there. Therapy tips. Therapy explained, maybe. Something like that as well. So, anyway. Lots of people talking. I'm trying to stay focused on the live stream here. Okay. See how this, here, I can lower this. Let me see here. This is gonna work. A little better. This little black thing. Put this black thing up. It's a little better. My complexion looks a little better. Although I think you can see my, what do they call these, crow's feet? See my wrinkles a little more. That's what they say as a therapist. like your bio picture. I don't really know that this is true, but it kind of makes sense. But if you look too young in your photo, like your bio, some people are gonna be like, oh, that person's too young. They don't have enough life experience. But if you're totally white hair, people are kind of ageist and they're like, that person's too old for me, blah, blah, blah. And they really understand it's ageist. All right. But it's like they just say like you should have just enough white to show that you're older. You've been around the block. Anyway, I'm being a little silly. So, speaking of which, being around the block, I do want to say, I've been learning about my own, like I have had my own journey with trauma. I've had my own journey with trauma. I'm not going to get into details. It wouldn't be appropriate. It would be oversharing, which I don't do anymore. I share with people who've earned the right to hear my story, and my therapist, and a couple of people that are close to me. But like I've had traumatic experiences in my adult years. A lot of people have it in their childhood, their family of origin, that kind of thing. So anyway, I've learned over the last 20 something years a lot about trauma. I'm still learning on a professional level. And then it's interesting because I've had my personal journey of like experiencing post-traumatic stress symptoms and learning about it. And it's kind of interesting. So with some of my clients, it's like I'm healing with them, and I tell them that I'm healing from my own trauma, but I do want to just state I care deeply about trauma and abuse. I don't say that I specialize in it, and I will never say that I'm an expert in it, but that I care deeply about it. I'm always trying to invite my clients to kind of go on that journey of talking through issues of traumatic events, ultimately about, especially if they have symptoms of post-traumatic stress. PTSD is the acronym, post-traumatic stress disorder. And then there's something called complex PTSD that some people struggle with. I've got a very good friend that kind of struggles with that. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, no, I just care deeply about it. Here's actually like one way I view healing from trauma and abuse, or just anything that's hurt us. It's like, here's the healing model I look at. If you like hurt your arm, let's say you break your arm, something like that. You go to the doctor takes x-rays, and is like, yep, you broke it, and it hurts. You don't want to use it. Okay. Usually they might put you in a cast. And the doctor's like, do not move your arm. I put you in this protective cast as much as possible. Don't move it. Protect it. Don't let anyone do horseplay around you, or don't be around people that are active because they might injure you or bump into you. Protect your arm and just let it heal and give it time. All right? Maybe here's some medicine for pain management kind of a thing. Okay, it's the same way. I think it's the same way with emotional pain. Like, how do I say this? I'm trying to think. There's so many people over here. It's like distracting. In the same way, it's like, okay, let's say our hearts are broken. All right? Our hearts are broken. We've been injured kind of on this internal level. Maybe we almost need to put a cast on our hearts and say, hey, I've been hurt. My core, my heart, my soul, whatever is that thing that you would say is you. I'm putting a cast on that, and I'm protecting my heart. I'm not letting anything negative, foul. I'm not letting anyone do any horseplay around my heart. I'm taking care of my heart. And I need to heal. You know, a lot of healing just comes from just putting a cast on, letting it heal. Yes, we do need to do the work of like talking things out and feeling our feelings. And sometimes there's like educational things, or I don't know. I'm probably oversimplifying it. But my working theory is we need to put a cast on our hearts. And that's how we heal, kind of on an internal, emotional level. You know? So that's all. Part of that talk therapy is like, I'm really big on the reframing things. You know? Like, I think of like, here's a crazy example, maybe a little crazy. I have ridden a bicycle across America 3 times. Really crazy. A bicycle, not a motorcycle. No motor, no electric assist bicycle. Okay? 2008, 2011, 2017. From the West Coast to the East Coast in America. And I'm very proud of it. I'm kind of a jock, all that stuff. But there was a 4th time that I attempted to bike across America in 2019. And I'm only the 2nd day in. Okay, I started in San Diego at a beach, right? Is it in San Diego? No. I started in Newport Beach, California. After 2 days, I was in Beaumont, California. I think I biked like 90, 100 miles. I actually quit. I quit in Beaumont. 2 days in, I was like, I don't want to do this. And I was, at the time, I was really upset with myself that I had quit. Because I was like, oh, I kind of judged people who quit. I was one of those, like, you never quit. Put your mind to it, blah, 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 blah. But I had to reframe it and go easy on myself and say, you know what? Sometimes it just works out where it just works out. And I almost consider it like I retired from biking across America. It just became clear 2 days in on that trip. I wasn't having fun. I wasn't in the right mental mindset. I wasn't willing to spend the money. It does cost money. And then I was like, hey, actually, I want to go home and do my therapy work by video full time. I'd rather just go back home and see my clients, because I put my clients on pause for roughly 7 or 8 weeks. Anyway, I had to reframe it as, you're not this loser quitter. You got to be so embarrassed and upset with yourself and beat yourself up. Oh my gosh, that was so bad and wrong. And I had to give myself grace and say, you know what? It didn't work out. And I retired. I almost think of like a sports athlete. Usually sports athletes, professional sports athletes, it's rarely pretty when they retire. Peyton Manning may have been the only guy where he won the Super Bowl. His final game, he won the Super Bowl. But even he was having health challenges and ailments and that kind of thing. And so anyway, occasionally a professional athlete just has an injury in their final season and they're just out and they're on injured reserve. And that injury just takes them out. And for me, that's how I view it. I had to reframe my failed bike across America trip. Actually, even using the word failed is probably not a word I should use anymore. You know, and I just had to say I retired, you know. So that's an example of reframing. I had one perspective, one attitude towards a life event. And now I'm reframing it and I'm fostering this perspective. I'm telling myself this message that's much more, you know, healing and, you know, helpful, nourishing to my soul and my life story. So anyway, that's my little 2 cents. Lots of fun here. Just make sure my website, pretty basic website. I didn't want to do anything too crazy. Just wanted my information, my rates. I accept insurance, just the basics. Here's my specialties. You know, By the way, I've got a few things. Let me pull up my website again here. I got the basics on there: self-worth, anxiety and panic, depression, trauma and abuse. I do have divorce recovery and relationship loss. That's often a big one. People get out of a relationship, they get heartbroken, they get divorced, and they're devastated. And talking through all the factors, the feelings, sometimes the bitterness, that's a big one. Imposter syndrome. I got that on my list. Imposter syndrome. Look, we all deal with it. It's really common. My clients in their 20s, especially in their 20s, and they got their first adult kind of job, all right? And they feel like a total fraud. That's what imposter syndrome is. It's that feeling of like, I'm a fake. Everybody else, they're great, they're professional, they're doing well. But me, deep down, I'm just winging it. And I hope nobody finds out that I'm just winging it. But the truth is, everyone's got imposter syndrome, you know. Anyway, that's my little short spiel. Anger management, ex-evangelicals, and religious deconstruction. I have a huge heart for that because I was an evangelical for a long time. That's a long story. And I've had a religious deconstruction journey, and there's a lot to say about that. But for those where that's an issue, there's a good chance I could be the right therapist for you. And there's others too. So, complicated grief from suicide loss. That's a huge one. I actually plan to do a video. I'm going to do a normal, traditional, rectangular video about that topic. It's on my list. But for those who lose someone to suicide, you know, usually, most of the time, it's a very complicated grief journey. There's way more. It's so much different than losing someone to old age or something like that. There's so many emotional factors. Was it my fault? Could I have done anything? How could they have chosen to leave me? And then there's like the embarrassment about people asking, how did this person die? They were so young. Typically, if they're young, then it's like, how did this person die? And that can be really difficult, talking about that. There's a lot of issues. And then there's even more issues. I'm not even going to get into all of them, but I'm just rambling. Family estrangement. I have my own personal stories, and it's been coming up more and more with my clients. Issues related to estrangement from family, setting boundaries with family members that are, problematic. The general rule is you don't have to sacrifice your mental health just to be involved with family members and interactions. You know what I mean? Anyway, there's lots of factors with that, but all right, I'm still sipping my coffee. It's the craziest thing. I swear, I will not quit this channel. I will not quit. If I will say this, outside of that Bike Across America thing, which granted, I had done it 3 times. I just wasn't successful on my 4th time. I am not much of a quitter. Okay. Like, I'm really consistent. It took me like 6.5 years to write a book. I did not quit. My Not Too Shabby videos. For those of you who know my Kiss Cactus channel, here, I'm just going to throw out my personal channel, which is Kiss Cactus. I've been making Not Too Shabby videos since November 2013. I've been consistent in like making 1 or 2 or 3 Not Too Shabby videos every week since 2013. All right. There's the Sawaros of the day. That's another personal thing. My workouts. I've been lifting weights, like health permitting, like muscles permitting, for like since 2022. I do not quit, and I'm not going to quit this. I'm so determined. The beauty about YouTube is it's free. I can just make videos and just give my wisdom, give whatever I can to help. So, and even if there's only 2 people watching and nobody commenting, I don't care. I'm just gonna do this. So, a midnight cactus. My next live stream is gonna be Midnight Cactus Live. So, anyway, my legal pad, this like torn up legal pad. It keeps making scenes in my videos. I noticed the hashtag therapy tips was kind of big. Then also therapy explained. Therapy explained. I'm probably gonna do another video about just talking about explaining therapy to people. That's an easy one. Therapy explained. The problem you can't talk about is now 2 problems. So half of therapy is just giving people the opportunity to talk about things in a safe environment. To help them talk it through. Talking about it helps people. Keeping it inside almost always is counterproductive. Okay? That's half of it. And the other half is like counsel, advice, especially when clients are like, people are having like symptoms related to mental health. They've got the 2 main ones are depressive symptoms, mood disorders, and then anxiety, any kind of anxiety disorders, panic attacks, post-traumatic stress, social anxiety, generalized anxiety. Those are kind of the 2 main ones, depression and anxiety. And it's like, find a professional that has the skills to give you directions, to give you things to do, to educate you on how to, beat those symptoms and eradicate them, And you got to do the work. I always tell my clients, like, you must do the work. It's not like I have some magic wand and just wave it, And, but we work together if you're willing to work. I've seen so many clients beat their anxiety symptoms and their depressive symptoms. And also sometimes medication can help, seeing a doctor, that kind of thing. So anyway, I'm probably sounding like whatever, but it's my live stream. I can promote myself a little bit. So, but anyway, go see a therapist. Therapy explained. Think about it. If you grew up in I don't know, some kind of environment where it just wasn't safe to be yourself, you always had to be on edge. Sometimes I got clients where like they had an alcoholic parent where they always, growing up, they always had to be kind of vigilant on an internal emotional level about what kind of mood is this person in. You know what I mean? That's anxiety. And then they're on edge. And then they're like walking on eggshells and don't screw up. Don't say anything that is going to upset my addict's parent. It's a recipe for anxiety. So, and there's so much I could ramble about, but anyway, there's a lot of noise in here now. A lot of noise. Noisy people. Is it better? The lighting better this way? Kinda better. Kinda better that way. All right, my friends. Just a reminder. If you have questions, you're welcome to ask in the reply section. I'm going to finish up here. Just know if you got questions or I don't know, as long as it's appropriate and you're not trolling me, I won't tolerate that because I have good boundaries. But if you got a question about any topic I brought up here, feel free to ask in the reply section, and I might respond. I probably will respond. It's all right. That's all for now. Hey, best wishes on your life journey. All right. All my love from me, Steve, Midnight Cactus. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye. Bye bye.